Now, you already know I'm not one to shy away from a challenge. These are the 10 promises that I have to stick to if I want to have any chance of breaking 2:30 for the marathon in February. So why 2:30? I guess as a triathlete, running 33 minutes for 10K, 1:14 for a half, 2:30 always felt like the kind of target that I should be looking for. I always felt like I was in that shape anyway. I think looking back, I was nowhere near. But now, after having one marathon in the bag in a 2:36, I think it's kind of shown me that I am close to that area, and it feels like the next logical barrier is to get under that 2:30. All right, so promise number one makes me sound a little bit like a broken record. Every single time I walk away from a race, my back hurts, my hip hurts. I say to myself, man, I gotta get in the gym more next year. Like, I can feel that my body just cannot quite handle the effort of the race itself. So whilst I might be able to get myself fit enough to be able to hold your form for 2.5, 3 hours, your body needs to be strong. You need to be able to withstand the beating of each step. And when you're doing that over and over again for so long, without the gym work, you can't hold yourself together. There's just no chance. The embarrassing part is I actually work in a gym, so I'm there for 10 hours a day, but somehow I manage to avoid going into the weights area. I might pick up a weight and put it down, but you'll never catch me doing a squat with it. So I promise from now on, twice a week, no excuses, strength equals stability equals speed. Okay, promise number two, very similar to promise number one, but this is the ones that I can do in front of the TV. I think for me, core work is more about connection. When I run, if I don't do core work, I feel like I've got 2 arms, 2 legs, and a trunk, but nothing kind of works in sync together. When I do more core work, I find that I feel connected as one piece, and you kind of hold yourself a little bit taller, a little bit stronger without thinking too much about it. And let's be honest, if Kipchoge does it, I should probably do it too, right? All right, number 3 is a controversial one. This matters to me. I'm not saying it should matter to you. When I was in my peak triathlon shape, I looked like this. I'm not quite there now. I'm not a million miles away, but I could definitely lose maybe 2 or 3 kilos. There's a good reason that my friends here call me fat ass. I want to become fast ass. So I'm not going on Ozempic. I'm not going keto. I just need to tighten things up a little bit. The vending machine at work needs to be ignored. Those chocolate danishes they have in there, I can't look at them anymore. They call me. I think the key for me is to fuel the hard sessions. So I'll be doing a hard session on a Thursday, my long run on a Sunday. So that means that Thursday will be a bit of a higher carb day. Saturday will be a bit of a higher carb day. Between those sessions, I'll probably be a little bit lower, learn to feel a little bit less full of energy for the easier runs. But fueling the sessions is the most important thing. I've let myself get too low with calories before, and whilst you lose the weight quickly, it's just led to me feeling sick. So whilst I'm not saying I need to lose weight, I just feel that for this race, if I want to hit these goals, losing those 2 or 3 kilos might help. So promise number 4 is something that I caught myself doing a lot in the last block into Yokohama. I really found myself going through the motions on my easy runs. Now, easy runs, whilst they are there to kind of build your aerobic volume, build a little bit of endurance, build your resistance to fatigue, I found myself just getting them done and not really thinking about what I was doing while I was doing the session. This kind of led to my form dropping down, my shoulders would hunch over, my hips would kind of not be where they should be. And this carried across into my harder sessions as well. So I lost my pop. I always said that I didn't feel like I had that spring in my step. And I think this is because I'd gotten so used to running in a kind of slouched position that I lost some of that elastic recoil. When your body is tall and tight, you bounce through each step and you bounce off the floor. When you slouch or you let your hips sink, you absorb the power. So every step you absorb a little bit of power, you don't bounce into the next step. Try this on your next run. Like, you can feel the difference of when you are tall, if somebody's pulling a string up from your head, you can feel the difference of how you bounce into the next step. Whereas if you're slouched over, you just absorb. Your knees will kind of knock inwards. So for me, the important thing is to focus more, have a little bit more intention on those easy runs, so that when I come to do the harder sessions, the form is already there. The form has been practiced over and over and over again, just the speed changes. All right, before you say anything about promise number 5, I know Frankie said relax. Freddie didn't say it. Frankie said it. That's not the lesson. One thing I realized towards the end of the last block was that obsessing over small details doesn't make any difference. The difference between running 325 pace, 330 pace, 335 pace is basically 0. So if you've got friends who are running at 335 and you want to run at 325, there's no difference. The benefit is basically the same for your body. So kind of stressing about little things and taking yourself too seriously and saying, no, I've got to run at my 330 pace. It really has no meaningful impact on your fitness. One thing I'll say is that if you can do your sessions with your friends, whether they are at the exact right paces for you or not, these sessions will have a much bigger impact on the enjoyment of them. They'll make it easier for you to come back again the next week and keep getting it done. Plus, everybody knows that reps done with a smile on your face are 15% more effective. That is proof by science. All right, promise number 6. Another one you're probably not gonna like. Less time in these, more time in these. You might think I'm old, but I came from the old school of triathlon where we put our race wheels on for races. We put our race shoes on for races. We kept the fast stuff for when it mattered. This way, every time we came to a race, we'd have this psychological boost, knowing that we're gonna get 5 or 10% faster just from having our race kit. In the last block, I spent so much time in the carbon shoes that it really kind of altered my biomechanics. Whenever you've got like something propelling you forwards a lot, it's gonna change the way your body naturally runs. When we wear something that's a bit more of a natural shoe, our body can feel the ground a little bit better. Our foot does what our foot's supposed to do. Our Achilles tendon can work the way the Achilles tendon is supposed to work. For me, when I wear a flatter, wider shoe, it kind of gets rid of my injuries. I always find that if I feel myself starting to ache a bit too much or get a little bit injured, getting back in the Ultra shoes fixes it almost straight away. So I'm not gonna be doing every run in them, but I'm gonna be spending a lot less time in carbon. And that means that when I put these on for a race, they're gonna give me the boost that they're supposed to. So my training sessions may look a little bit slower, but the race results are gonna look a little bit faster. Less time in these, good news for my training partners, bad news for my Strava. All right, promise number 7, we are nearly there. Sprints are here to stay. A wise young man once told me, maturing is not skipping strides. I only added strides towards the end of the last block, and whilst my hamstrings immediately went on strike, I could really feel the difference in my gait and the fact that it just makes sense in my head that if you're gonna run much faster than your race pace, when you drop back down to race pace, it's gonna feel so much easier. So my mechanics woke up, more snap in my strap, more elasticity. So strides, sprints, and speed, it's locked in, it's not going anywhere. Hopefully my hamstrings will survive. All right, promise number 8, finally one that you're gonna like. We're here for the beers. We're gonna be drinking a few more beers this season. It's not about the beers itself, it's about staying relaxed, reminding myself, I'm not a pro, this is a hobby. I can go out with my girlfriends, I can go out with my friends, I can have a couple of beers and wake up late, and in reality, I'm still not gonna be pro the next day. I think the couple of beers is more of a metaphor for making sure I don't get too caught up in what I'm doing. Ultimately, if I can run under 230, I'm still gonna be half an hour away from the winner. So don't forget to be human. Whether you drink or you don't drink, find something that helps you relax and unwind. I've had my best races when I've been my most relaxed. When I've gone in with less expectation, I've usually achieved more. So here for the beers. Okay, the penultimate promise, run slower. This one is very apt because I've just come back from my long run with my buddy. The easy pace was too fast. It led to me feeling pretty crappy, and it meant that when it came time to do the effort, I was too tired to actually get it done properly. The more comfortable I've become in my running, the happier I've been to just slow down. I even asked my coach a little while back, even though I knew the answer, should I be running faster in my easy runs? And he told me, bro, I know 207 runners that run slower in their long runs than you do. Whenever I go out for an easy run, I always think that if it's not 5-minute Ks or faster, it's not worth getting out the door. I've started to incorporate a few more very easy runs. And to be honest with you, it's the same thing. Nothing changes. So whilst a 4:30 pace easy run might look much nicer on my Strava, you'll be seeing a lot more that start with a 5, probably not with a 6. If the session says 20K easy, 6K marathon pace, that means 20K easy, 6K marathon pace. Not 20Ks easy, steady, kind of moderate in a weird, awkward, uncomfortable zone, and then 6K of survival. Okay, promise number 10, and the one that I am most likely to break. I will not buy as many shoes this year as I did last year, or at least that's what I'm gonna tell you. This one should be renamed to, I will be better at hiding my new shoes than I was last year. But it's the intention that counts, right? All right, so there it is, my 10 promises. If you've made it this far, you're probably asleep on a sofa, me watching the video for the 82nd time, or my mum. Hi mum. So now we've got 11 weeks until race day. I've got 10 promises to stick to. If I stick to them, I'll hit the start line in Osaka, a 71 kilo, balanced, fast, possibly slightly hungover runner, but it will give me the best chance that I have to run sub 2:30 and probably move the goalpost for what I think is an acceptable time once again. So in 12 weeks time, we'll probably have this same video of how we're gonna run sub 2:25. Oh, and if you wanna know how the last race went, make sure you watch this video to see lots of footage of me eating food and a little bit of footage of me running.